Welcome back, folks. With me, Phil Turrell. You're watching part 26 of the Final Fantasy VIII Let's Play. And we just woke up from a little day nap, dreaming Laguna. But hey, we finally made it to Esthar. And we'll be greeted by a representative of Esthar, which I presume is this person right here. And we'll be taken to the presidential palace because of our little association with sorceress Edea. And I imagine Edea showing up in their city is a bit of a shock because, you know, she is the face, or was the face, of Galbaldia, and Galbaldia was a rival nation to Esthar, so that could be quite a surprise to these folks. And talking about how huge this country-sized city is, it's enormous. As the character is saying, like, geez, how far does this go? It's a pretty large city. Like, it really feels like the whole country is in this one city. We'll be going to the presidential palace, which is where we're gonna be meeting Dr. Odine. As Edea is saying, she hopes that there's there. And Irving saying that I didn't catch his little comment about the president of Esthar, but it's kind of interesting that he says something about the president of Esthar, which we already know technically. We've technically already known about him. We just don't know that he's the president of Esthar. Now, Edea is going to say that she wants to be freed of her sorceress powers, so that way she doesn't get taken over by sorceress Ultimecia. And Dr. Odine will say that will be an easy fix, according to him. Now, Dr. Odine is saying all we gotta do is exercise a sorceress, and you know that should be easy peasy. And of course, Squall's in the bargain, as he wanted to come here to see Ellone, and Squall's like, I need to see Ellone now. And Dr. Odine is like, you want to take Odine hostage? And really, Squall's basically at the mercy of Esthar. They don't really have to do this for him. Really, I feel like they just want to neutralize Edea as a threat because of sorceress Ultimecia. But Edea is going to say to Squall, like, hey, accept their offer, Squall. Let's leave Renoa here so they can look after her. And they're going to say, after we're done looking around the city, go to Lunar Gate. And Lunar Gate is going to be where we need to go after we're done with Esthar. Now, Esthar is a huge city, and something I want to note before we continue a little bit. When we go back across the hall where we exited, this is the president's office right here, but we can't go there because entry is not permitted. But going back here, going back to this hallway, in the doorway right above it is a picture of Windhill. Now, why there's a picture of Windhill here, it's not outright said, but once you realize who runs this country, it makes complete sense why this president wants pictures of Windhill and all this stuff. Now, Esthar is a super large city. You're gonna want to know the layout of the city for a future section, because in a future section we're gonna have to go to specific places in Esthar to kind of sort of advance the plot, but not really. I'll talk about that part when we get there. But a lot of these people don't know what outsiders from their country dress like, and they're just like, why are y'all dressed this way? And one thing that Esthar is going to be known for is these little hover lifts, these chairs that, if you remember in the last Laguna dream sequence, you get on these things and they'll take you to different places in the city. It'll even give you an option, but generally I recommend just walking and getting a layout of the city. We're going to go this way because we're going to need to talk to a person up here, the soldier. Talk to him, and this will allow us, this will trigger a flag in the game, and when we come back here for a plot reason, we can talk to him and we can get a copy of Combat King number 4, I believe. So we want to go ahead and initialize that. And this is the center of the city. We're going to have to come here later, but now we know what the center of the city is. So we're going to go back, and then we're going to go south, and south will lead us to the president's aide who was talking to us. We're going to talk to him. And so I'm on break now. How do you like our city? Well, that triggers another flag in the game to where we can get another magazine, a occult number 4. So we need that. Well, you don't really need it, but I'm getting it for the sake of completion. Now, that save point right there, when you leave it, it'll heal you automatically, so you don't really have to use a tent. And so now we can go back to the Presidential Palace. We'll go ahead and use the lift here to go there. So you jump, scoot, and boogie all the way to the Presidential Palace. So go ahead and exit here, go to the right, and then we'll get back to the Presidential Palace. Now this is only to get a copy of the Occult Fan number 4, which I believe, I could be wrong, the only ones that you only have one shot of getting are Occult Fan number 3 and 4. Occult number 3 was found in FH. Occult number 4 is found here, and to my knowledge, you cannot get this any other way. So this is a missable item that you can get, so or could miss. So talk to this presidential secretary, and then now she'll leave this magazine, and she'll make a note that the president has been collecting magazines from all over the world, almost like he wants to know what's in the outside world. Now, the reason I saved and came back here is not only for that magazine, but to play against Dr. Odine. Now, Esthar has, now that I'm thinking about, Esthar to start does not have the plus roll, because if I remember right, when I beat Odine for the Ward card, because he has the Ward card, the plus roll gets spread throughout the Esthar region. So Esthar doesn't have the plus roll, at least not yet. And plus roll, as I said, is something I don't really like. To get a plus, whatever two numbers are going against, or whatever you place the card on, whichever slot, if the numbers on any of two of the places, two of the adjacent numbers add up to the same number, you'll get a plus, and you'll take those two cards. And then you can also get a combo, I believe, if the number that on your card is higher, or sorry, the number on the cards you take are greater than the card that's next to it that isn't yours. Now, I'm not entirely sure how the plus roll works. It's been a long time. Normally, I just keep playing until I win, and by playing, I mean I reload the game. But the Ward card is, it's okay. You can card mod it into 3 Gaia rings, which can teach the HP plus 80%. So this could potentially make it super easy to get 9,999 HP if you're into maxing your HP. I like to max out my HP, but I don't like to max out at the cost of one of my ability slots. Even if I have 4. Generally, unless I have nothing better to equip, then yeah, I might do that, or I might use a strength or a magic plus %. But HP, I would say that's pretty low on importance for me. So I said a lot. Okay, President has very weird hobbies. Anyways, I'm not even going to address that. But anyways, let's go ahead and get to the shopping center, which the shopping center, this is actually the furthest end of Esthar, I believe. Now you can talk to this guy if you want to know more about Esthar, but I believe this section right here is the western or eastern, it's the furthest section away from the center that you can get, which is another important place for later in the game. Now, continuing south, you'll go into the shopping center. We can't go that way, Squall. And the shopping center here is super useful. This is where you can get a lot of good items if you have the Tomberry and you have the familiar ability. So the first shop is going to be, I didn't quite catch it, but it's the pet shop. And the pet shop here, you can get Pet Pals Volumes 5 and 6, and you can also get the plus 40% items for HP, Strength, Magic, and Spirit if you wish. Now, Cloud Shop is just a normal shop. Now, every one of these shops, I believe, will give you 2 items for free at a random chance. Now, the only one that's really useful is the one you get out of Cheryl's shop. And Cheryl's shop is always going to be closed, I believe. So, keep trying. Now, the reason why you want the Rosetta Stone is because the Rosetta Stone, and I'm going to get all the items here that I can possibly get for free. All the shops, I think Cloud Shop, and I want to say the second, I want to say the bottom left one also has items that you can get. Johnny's shop is is an item shop as well. You're going too fast, Phil. It's another item shop with 3 exclamation points. Now this one has X potions, Mega potions, Mega phoenixes, and elixirs. And to my knowledge, this is also the only shop that sells elixirs, I believe. Oh, and they also sell cottages, but you know that's not really as useful. Even a tent is just as useful as a cottage in my opinion. I don't really summon guardian forces all that much. Johnny's shop, I want to say, gives a Mega potion and an X potion, I believe. Right now, I'm just trying to get him to give me the free items. Thankfully, with the advent of the remaster, you can hit the speed up function and speed up a lot faster. Back in the old days with the PlayStation, I want to say because it had to load, it was a lot slower, so it made it that much more painful. The junk shop, I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to upgrade Quistis's weapon to the Red Scorpion, I believe. Yes. So she gets a little bit of an upgrade. Over here, I'm thinking about it, but I'm like, I don't really need a dragon skin and Ochi tentacles. Yeah, I don't really need them. So she gets a little bit of a weapon upgrade. Now, Karen's store has a lot of good books, specifically Combat Kings and the Weapon Monthly. But as you see here, you can only get Occult Fan 1 and 2. So I'm going to go ahead and buy Combat King 4 and 5. Now, even though the Pet Pals and the Combat Kings will round out Renoa and Zell's Limit Break arsenal, I'm still going to, and for Zell, I'm still only going to I'm only going to use his Punch Rush Booyah combo. So even though those last 2 limit breaks are really good, they pale in comparison to the high damage potential Punch Rush Booyah has. Now here I'm just speeding it up, and I want to say it took me almost like 3 minutes maybe of normal time, maybe 2 minutes. But yeah, it took me a while, and this still is at, I want to say this is at 2x speed maybe. That was a Rosetta Stone, and the Rosetta Stone is super useful. I don't think I'm going to use it on screen here, but I'll probably use it later in the part, or maybe in a later part. But the Rosetta Stone, super useful, because what it'll do is, like Diablos and Carbuncle, and I want to say, is it Cerberus? Or maybe it's Alexander. I don't remember. But they all have an innate ×4 or ×3 ability, which means you can equip 3 abilities with your normal commands that are passive. So Encounter None is one of those abilities. The HP plus % abilities are some of those. But ability ×4 will go from ×3 to ×4, or you can give it to a normal Guardian Force that doesn't have ×3 and have it automatically teach ability ×4 to it. That way you can equip 4 abilities. That's a really good end game ability. Super useful. Now, Squall's going to make a mention here that this is a super amazing city, and the irony of it, how he's related to the city. But anyways, I would recommend, well, you really don't have to rent a car, but I'm going to. You could easily just do the Encounter None, but I like the futuristic car here. It floats. I like floating cars. That's just me. We're living in 2024 at the time of making this video, and we don't have floating cars yet. But surely in the future we might get that. So I digress. But that's Esthar in a nutshell. I covered all the important parts, but yeah. Now Esthar has 3 other locations here other than the city itself. You have the Lunatic Pandora Laboratory, you have Lunar's Gate, and then you have the Sorceress Memorial, I believe. The Sorceress Memorial, we won't be visiting that in this part. We'll be visiting it much later in the game, towards the end of Disc 3, which might be, I don't know, 2 or 3 more parts at the most. But this right here, the Lunatic Pandora Laboratory, this is where Laguna's initial part of his the last Laguna dream sequence took place in. Now, nothing's really here, but it's very empty. Now, something I do like to think in my own headcanon is the Moombas that were being used for slave labor, essentially. I like to think this is their new home, in a way. I like to think that after Edea was overthrown, Laguna and the people of the Resistance, which, spoiler alert, they did end up overthrowing Edea because it's already said that Edea doesn't rule over Esthar. But I like to think that all the Mumas Esthar had for slave labor just live here in peace and quiet. They get fed, like Laguna said. They get all the attention they want. And, you know, it just shows that Laguna is such a nice guy. Now, next thing we're going to do is we're going to go... Actually, there's technically 4 locations. That's Lunar Gate, the Lunatic Pandora Memorial, Sorceress Memorial, and Tears Point. I forgot there's 4. This is Tears Point. This is going to be a very important location for the end of Disc 3. This is actually the end of Disc 3's location. Now we want to go here because this is going to allow us to get the Solomon Ring. And the Solomon Ring is what we need in order to get the Guardian Force Doom Train. Now, remember when I said you need 6 Remedy Pluses, 6 Steel Pipes, and 6 of another item? Well, that's how you get the Doom Train Guardian Force. Now, at first you're probably wondering, well, Phil, how do you know about all these items without a guide? Well, the game tells you in those occult fan books. It'll show Wendigo getting ran over by something that looks like a train, and talking about steel pipes. It'll also say something about high-level medicine, which is the hint for Remedy Pluses. And then the last thing is Malboros, which Malboros is actually the last item you need. Malboro tentacles, to be specific, you need 6 of them. Now, that is a very hard item to get if you're not prepared. Now, the reason why I say it's hard is, for one thing, Malboros tend to have very high HP, and actually, I think in this game, if the Malboros are at the highest possible level they can be, they will have the most HP out of any basic enemy, not counting the bosses, which is pretty high. That's the Solomon Ring grab right there, just laying on the ground with this statue. Now, we'll talk about Tears Point later in the plot, but we just want to go here to get the Solomon Ring. Now, we're going to have to go Malboro hunting, which is going to be... Oh man, I don't want to talk about this, but I have to. Malboros are just super difficult to deal with in Final Fantasy VIII because they always start the fight with bad breath. Now, bad breath will inflict all, if not most, of the status elements in the game. And right here, I'm going to go ahead and use some amnesia greens to get rid of some stuff, so that way I can use the status guard that we got from Shumi Village way back when to teach the status defense junction ×4 ability. I believe I'm going to teach it to Shiva. Now, this is going to be super useful against Malboros, because now I can protect against 4 status elements, assuming that I have the spells to junction towards them. Now, the spells I would recommend to equip are going to be Confuse, Berserk, and Sleep, and then whatever 4th spell you want to equip, you can. The 4th spell, generally, I'll equip Asunia, because Asunia will give you a little bit of a widespread protection. Not 100% protection. If you have 100 Asunias, you'll get, I believe, 20% to all most status elements, as you see there. So that'll protect me a little bit. Now, the only other enemy that we can encounter here is Mesmerize, and you know, we already fought these Mesmerizes before. They're just unicorns with blades. They do give useful Mesmerize blades and life rings, which can be refined into regions and life spells, which, you know, they're decent mid-level spells to junction. Particularly region. I think region is a very good spell to junction to your HP. Now, to give an idea how rare these things are, and these are the Malboros I'm talking about. The video before I edited this, a large section of the repeat battles. This video was originally about an hour and 5 minutes. If you look at the timer on the video, it's about half that time, I think, almost. It's 32 minutes, 16 seconds, and 45 milliseconds, whatever is after seconds. So, quite a lot of Malboro hunting, and that was with me speeding stuff up with the in-game speed up tool. Now, I would recommend having high attack and high magic if you decide to use spells, of course. Attack is always going to be my go-to thing, because I always feel I can do more damage with attack and with magic. you're going to want to focus on using fire damage. So fire elemental spells and then fire elemental attacks will be very, very useful. That is what I would recommend to do. And of course, while you're doing this, if you want to go ahead and farm for experience, I just recommend, you know, getting the best out of the situation. Unless you want to run from every single encounter, go ahead and get the bonus abilities up, like attack, strength, vitality, spirit, and HP, I believe. I don't know if I said HP or not. And then just get all that stuff done. And right here, like I said, I'm just double checking all my stuff. You want to make sure that your characters are as protected as possible, because if I've had it happen before where a Malboro, because I was careless and I didn't equip the sleep spell, it put all three of my characters to sleep. In addition to that, it may or may not inflict doom or slow petrify on a character. So you want to be careful about that, because if they're asleep, you're not waking up unless that Malboro hits you with a physical attack, which I think it only has one physical attack. The other one is Eerie Sound Waves, I believe. And Eerie Sound Waves is, I don't think that's a physical attack. I think that's considered a magical attack, which won't wake up your characters. So here, I'm just hunting around for some Malboros, and I'm going to show off the Mesmerize formations. And you only get them in terms of 1, 2, and 3. So not super dangerous enemies. They're not hard at all. They go down in a few hits, especially if you have high attack. So that's done. And this is probably this is one of my least favorite sections of the game. My least favorite is still going to be the D District Prison, but this is kind of high up there. But I can't really say this is a super bad thing in the game, because it's optional. You don't have to get Doom Train. And I'm jump cutting all the fights out, and eventually, you know, it got so uncontrollable that I just basically just jump cut it to where I fought a Malboro. But I just want you to see how crazy this is. I'm editing out these fights, and I'm not getting anywhere at all. And eventually I decided to just change location. Not that it really matters. But this is the only other formation here besides the Malboros is 3 Mesmerizes. Now, Odine, go ahead and take it away. So Odine's going to do his thing, take care of it, and we don't have to worry about that. And we'll probably level up and get more status bonuses from my abilities. Man, I really wish with the remaster they would have added a way to keep Edea in the party. I don't know why. It's just something ever since I played the game. I really wish Edea was a permanent character in the party after Disc 3. But this is a Malboro. It's a pretty infamous character in Final Fantasy. And then, as luck would have it, I got back attack too. So you can see there they all have temporary petrify. Edea has the worst of it. And since Irving's confused, he's going to start chunking my items at the Malboro, regardless of what it does. Treatment is going to be a godsend, because treatment will cure all the status elements here. So Edea is back to normal. And I want to say, I'm not entirely sure, but if you let the powder drag on long enough, I think it will hit you again with bad breath, which is very dangerous. You don't want to get hit by that more than you have to, if at all. Now, he has Demi, the Malboro. I can't decide if it's Malboro or if it's Malboro from my Final Fantasy. I know the spell in Final Fantasy 16 is different, but this is Edea's limit break. This is the exact same limit break she hit Squall with in the FMV in Part 1. It's very powerful if you have a high magic stat. I want to say it goes off magic. So I'm going to have Irving just cast Demi. I'm going to have Squall keep hitting him with hitting the Malboro with his physical attack, because he has Fire Junction. So he's going to get a lot. Dissolving Acid is its 1 physical attack, so it will inflict Vitality 0, so that is pretty bad in terms of getting hit by a physical attack. But if you're super lucky, which I wasn't, I got the worst possible luck for this Malboro. I got bag attacked and Odine didn't get summoned. If Odine gets summoned on the thing, you got the best luck in the world. That way you don't have to deal with these things. Now, also it's also weak against ice as well. I forgot to say that. Now, the sad thing about this is if they're at low levels, like that one, I only got 2 Malboro tentacles, and even now I'm not guaranteed to get those. You need to fight probably at least 2 of these things to get the 6 you need. 7 if you want to teach Queesis her bad breath ability. Now, if you're able to card mod some from playing Triple Triad, which I think you need 4 for 1 tentacle, then you could probably just get away with having to do 1 fight or maybe no fights if you decide to just play Triple Triad until you get the Malboro tentacles, because you hate fighting Malboros. Now, as you see there, it gave me over 1,000 experience, which is enough to level up all my characters. So there's that. And at the high levels, they give 8, so there's that too. So I got more than enough for Doom Train and for Queesis, but I already got the Malboro tentacle to teach Queesis bad breath. So once we have all the items, the 6 running pluses, the 6 steel pipes, and the 6 Malboro tentacles, go to the Solomon Ring and use it, select it, and then you'll summon Doom Train, and Doom Train will join your party. You called upon me, choo choo, I am. And you can name Doom Train whatever you want. I'm going to name him Doom Train. Now, Doom Train is a poison type guardian force, and its summon is among the best in this game. I cannot overstate that, since it will inflict generally every status element in the game that the enemy is weak against. This makes a lot of bosses cakewalk. Its best abilities that you can teach from Doom Train are the Elemental Defense Junction ×4 and Status Defense Junction ×4, and possibly Auto Shell if you're okay with having that equipped. Now, that's good for half in magical damage, but it will also half your healing magic as well. Recover will cut through it and you'll heal 9,199, but that's one thing I don't like about it, but you know, it's useful for the final boss in the game as well. Now, after you're done rearranging your guardian forces, we're going to go to Lunar Gate, and then we'll continue plot from there. But that is probably my least favorite section in the game. It's not my favorite at all because I hate Malboros, and I think they're the worst in Final Fantasy. Every other Final Fantasy, they're not super bad. I think Final Fantasy IX, I think Bad Breath only targets 1 enemy. I think even Final Fantasy VII, I don't think Final Fantasy VII, it targets the whole part. I think Final Fantasy VII only targets 1. I'm talking about OG Final Fantasy, not Final Fantasy VII, not the remake. Remake, I only played it once, and I don't remember very much of it. I know, shame on me. But anyways, this is Lunar Gate, and you can kind of tell that this is sort of like a odd building shape, and we're about to find out why it's shaped this way. So we're going to go inside, and we're going to find out they are expecting us, and we're going to be told why this is technically the Lunar Gate, because this is the gateway to the moon, so to speak, for Esthar. Now, we've been expecting you. This way, please. And why do you all smell bad? Malboro breathed it on us. Now, on the way here, Angelo is going to show up. And Angelo somehow walked all the way across the bridge while glitching across the Great Plains of Esthar and followed us to Lunar Gate without getting attacked by unicorns or Malboros. Now, Squall says it's going to be okay. He's going to take care of Renault, but I also feel he's telling himself that everything's going to be okay. So, that was a nice little sight of Angelo. We don't see Angelo very much in this game outside limit breaks. Now, we are going to be allowed to take one character with us into, well, outer space. We're going to get shot to the moon, because Ellone is actually on the moon base up there, because that is the one spot that Ultimecia cannot reach Ellone, because every country in this game except for Esthar does not have the capability to go into space. Esthar does. Now, they ask where are we going, and he points up and he's like, you're going to the moon, buddy. So we're going to be frozen cryogenically and put in this pipe, well, in the pipe first and then frozen cryogenically, and then we're going to be shot into by I guess a particle accelerator or a rail gun, probably a rail gun, and shot up there. So you're given to a space, let me think about, or I'll do whatever it takes. So we're going to do whatever it takes because, you know, it's Renoa. The Squall's like, let's do it. So you're allowed to take one party member with you. Doesn't really matter. You're not going to be fighting with that other party member. So I'm going to go ahead and pick Queesis because I feel like I haven't really been paying attention with Queesis quite enough. Now, you're going to be given the option, well, Zell's going to be given the responsibility to watch over Edea, and he's like, oh yeah, it's my time to shine. I'll do whatever it takes to watch over you. Don't worry about a thing. This is my time to shine. And Squall's like, Matron's a sorceress, don't forget that. So, Zell's gonna have his moment here, and we're gonna go ahead and take Quistis, which leaves Irving, Selphie, and Edea behind. So that's my party. I'm gonna go with it. So Quistis is gonna get loaded up and frozen, and then shot towards the moon, and then Squall is gonna go in there, and then we won't be controlling Squall. Probably, I want to say for at least half of the next part. I haven't edited the next part, but probably at least half the next part. Maybe the whole part. I don't know. I haven't decided. This part ended up being so short because of all the Malboro hunting, but we're almost done here. The rest of it is just gonna be talking and dialogue. So boosters are on standby. All systems normal. Error correction +2, orbital correction +1, and he's like, go, go, go. So I don't know how I feel about this, but it's Final Fantasy, and so we're gonna get launched towards the moon, which, to my recollection, this is by this point 8, 7, maybe 5 if you count the space travel aspect, and then 4 are Final Fantasies up to this point that involve space travel, I think, to my knowledge. I never finished 2, and I've never played 3, but as far as I know, these are the only ones up to this point that have space travel. But anyways, they're going to pray for a safe return, and Zell is going to be worried why Angela's acting that way, and so he's like, hey, come back here. So let's go ahead and find out what's acting up. Now, something big is arriving, because it's shaking the atmosphere in the place, the atmosphere, but like the air around where you are. So you head out. Does this giant thing look familiar to you? It should, because this is actually Lunatic Pandora. This is what Laguna and his company and the Moombas and all the slave labor in Esthar was building. That ginormous thing. The great Lunatic Pandora. Which, we'll talk about that when we get there. We'll talk about it more when we get to that part with Zell's time to shine. But we gotta go save Dr. Odine, because Dr. Odine might know what's going on. But that's it, folks, with this part. If you like it, please like it. Please consider subscribing to our channel. And I'll catch you in the next one, folks. Later and bye.